Welcome to the show that brings you opinions and topics from around the world. This is In Your Defense with Daniel Cothran. All right, so let's get right to it. I wanted to speak with you guys about um, the Chad Reed thing, the shooting there, but I just didn't have the things to go with it today. I just wasn't very prepared for that. I kind of want to dig more into it. Instead, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit more about self-defense. Um, Hopefully, we'll get more viewers. It looked like we did have one viewer, and they went away. Could very well been myself. Anyways, I didn't promote this. No one knows I was going live. It's basically just so y'all can watch it later. Anyways, let's get it down to it. About self-defense, there's a lot of things that kind of go into it. It's not always the immediate thing that you have to worry about. Sometimes it has to be the thing that happens after the fact, such as going to court. Now, I've never had to go to court, but based on my training and based on my knowledge within my industry, um, uh, it's kind of up in the air if you are having to put yourself out there. But it kind of, as the saying goes, it's better to be judged by 12 than to be carried by 6. Also, in the moment you're defending yourself, if you're using self-defense properly, you believe that your life is in danger or that you are possibly going to suffer severe bodily harm, then using these techniques, using lethal force, whatever it is that you're doing to survive is way more important, or I hope you believe it's way more important than the actual going to court part. But going to court does cost a lot of money to defend yourself, and it's best to have the knowledge base beforehand and have the training beforehand to make sure that you are doing things correctly and to make sure that when you are in that court, you have no doubt in your mind that you were justified. So, with my background with the security industry, it kind of goes hand in hand because security personnel, whether it be bodyguards, whether it be security officers, whether it be just unmarked personnel doing private investigations or something like that, all of it plays a factor, and you put yourself at risk even more so. And you really do need to consider your use of force. So with that, let's get started. I am going to bring up the use of force continuum. All right, so we got the use of force continuum here. Let's see if I can make that a little bit better for you guys. See if this works. So if you can see this, what we have here is it's a pyramid, and from the bottom up is what you're looking at. So we're going to talk about all of it. So at the bottom, you got the green, you got the purple, you got the what I think supposed to be yellow, orange, and then blue. Those colors I don't mind. It's the mindset that matters. I grabbed this diagram offline to use for this video. As you can see in a pyramid, the bottom level is level 1, and you build up from there. So level 1 is your officer presence. And this can be just your presence. You don't have to be an officer to use this. Level 2 is your verbal commands. Now, in the civilian life, verbal commands can be like, "Hey, don't come no closer. I don't want to fight you," or "Hey, get off of me," right? And level 3 is your soft techniques. That's your pepper sprays, your come-alongs, and wrist locks. Now, in our system, we teach all of that. right? But for self-defense purposes, it's best to use some kind of distraction. Pepper spray, even though it does have a physical effect, it's also a distraction because now they're not focused on you; they're focused on breathing and seeing while you get away. It doesn't say this on here, but sound grenades is what we call them. But those little devices, it goes on key rings. You pull a little pin out, it goes wow, 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 really loud. You toss that. That's a distraction device. That would be level 3. Level 4 is your strikes and your takedowns. Again, we're not going to worry about for self-defense purposes. We're not going to worry about takedowns. We're going to stay off the ground if possible. And level 5 is going to be your deadly force, your firearms strikes to vital areas. In a situation that you're using this this pyramid, you feel like you need to, which anytime you're out and about, you're using it. Officer presence is level 1. You're always going to be at level 1. When you're at level 1 there, though, it's more about being a hard target. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's talk about making yourself be more like an alpha male. Whether if you're a female or not, be the top one. Being a hard target is nothing more than being someone that a potential criminal would not want to select to be their victim. We got to keep in mind that criminals don't want to be caught, they don't want to be identified, and they don't want to be injured. So if you seem to have more of a risk to them being caught, captured, or identified, they're more than likely not going to choose you. Now, we also have to keep in mind that they also like their victims to be distracted. They also like their victims to be alone, and they like their victims to be weaker. Now, with that mindset, we can make ourselves a harder target. We can make ourselves a harder target by simply utilizing those to be more like, let's see. I think it is more like a lion. A lion. If you were a lion, you wouldn't want to, if you were a criminal, you wouldn't want to attack a lion, right? All right. Yeah. So this big bad boy here, let's call him Leo. Oh, wow. I'm messing up the screen here. No idea how that popped up. We'll get into that in a minute. All right. So we're going to be more like a lion, right? And less like a sheep. One second. All right, so we don't want to be like a sheep. We want to be more like a lion. All right, so yeah, so a sheep this is what a criminal would go after somebody, not necessarily an actual sheep, but we got to put ourselves in the mindset that a criminal is a predator, just like a wolf would be a predator to these little sheep. And if we were to act like little feeble sheep, predators would more likely choose us, or criminals would, right? But wolves never really attack larger animals such as a lion. So if we become the lion, or something of that nature, then criminals would choose to pick a different target, right? Aha, figured out why I was getting that screen. All right, so let's look at this. Let's go back to the use of force continuum. We talked about the officer presence and making ourselves a hard target. We talked about verbal commands, and when we talk to people, we need to talk with confidence. We need to look at them in the eye. You don't have to stare at them, mean mug them, or anything. And if we speak to someone, we need to speak with a tone of authority, right? You don't have to belittle anyone, but speak to them in a way that it's clear and the points being made. You don't have to belittle anyone because that might agitate them, but make sure that you're being polite, and you don't have you if you want to be animated about your words choices, that's up to you, but be smart about your decisions, because most times if you're being confronted, chances are they already have an idea of how they're going to take you out if they felt like if that was their goal. They may have a knife in their pocket, you know. So if you're going to use verbal commands, you need to be studying de-escalation techniques, stuff like that. That's a later video. But if someone confronted me, I would make sure that they stayed within the reactionary gap of 6 feet, and I would say, "Hey, stop!" Just like that. Please don't come no further. I don't want any trouble. Or, hey, I don't want no trouble. Please don't come any closer. You know, if somebody was being confrontational, you don't have to be that way. You don't have to wait to be hit either. So making sure they continue to have that distance, and make sure that they understand that you don't want any trouble is what we need. Now, soft techniques is your pepper spray. You know, if the verbal commands and the pepper spray doesn't work, then that's when we get your strikes. For self-defense, you really need to go from soft techniques to deadly force. If it's a real legit self-defense, which means if it's a self-defense, it means that you are if it's a self-defense, guys, it means that the threat has been made. All right. The person has the opportunity to enact that threat. The person has the capability to do that threat, to carry it out, and it's immediate. And ultimately, you fear for your life or severe bodily injury. When I mention self-defense, I use that term. That's all of it. All of those things, those 5 things. And if you have those 5 things, you can prove in court without a shadow of a doubt that you acted justifiably for self-defense. Let me make this clear. This is not legal advice. I am not giving legal advice. Okay. Consult with an attorney. But based on my knowledge, these are my opinions. All right. So we're going to go straight from hitting people in their chest and hitting them in their jaws and stuff like that, and go straight into the pepper spray. Okay. We're going to pull out this pepper spray, and we're going to gas them up, and we're going to leave if possible. If we don't have pepper spray or nothing like that, we're not going to wait to get hit. We're going, if we are in fear of our lives, okay, we are going to attack in order to prevent being killed. Because chances are, if they attack you first, you're not going to come out okay. All right. So, anyways, Remember, keep that distance of 6 feet or more. During the COVID, it kind of trained everybody to do that anyway, so it's not so much of a rude statement. Or if you was to ask somebody, "Hey, I just need my space," it's not that crazy at this point. Everybody kind of assumes the 6-foot rule is normal now. But anyways, guys, I just want to get with that continuum, let you know the phases. But one more point I want to make is you do not have to, first and foremost, you don't have to go up the levels, okay? You can be at officer presence and jump right up to deadly force if you felt the need is there, right? Now, I can't speak for law enforcement and all that stuff. They got policies. But as a civilian, if you feel your life's in danger, you don't have to go up the chain of that step of the pyramid. You can go from 1 to level 5 based on your situation. All right? Based on your situation, guys. For me, as a security professional, if somebody came at me with a baseball bat, I'm probably using deadly force, because they can kill me with that baseball bat. I don't have to match their force with my force. If I don't have to pull out a baton just because they pull out a bat, I can go up one level above theirs, right? If they pull out a water bottle and start squirting me in the face, I don't know what's in that water bottle. Okay, I don't know what's in that water bottle. So, you have to justify everything that you do. That water bottle could be gasoline and they got a match. Boom, I'm gone. That's severe bodily injury. I don't know what's in the bottle and they're spraying me with. And that's a hypothetical, but it's something to think about, right? Anyways, guys, this is Daniel Cothran. I'm going to sign off here. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was knowledgeable. I hope you learned something. Please hit that subscribe, share this, please, and help me get this channel going. Anyways, guys, y'all have a good night, and we'll talk to you later.